Yeah. Hey, I don't wanna hit a cap, you can save it. With my guys and we got it up the pavement. Listen up, it's what everybody's saying. Round of applause, give it up for the crowd favorite. Hey, round of applause, give it up for the crowd favorite. Hey, round of applause, give it. I know they weak by the look in their faces. All of these rings got me feeling like Brady. Say what I feel, I don't care how you take it. Round of applause, give it up for the crowd favorite. Hey, round of applause, give it up for the crowd favorite. Yeah.
Yes, sir.
There it goes.
Round one.
I got you on that too right there.
Round one, fight.
There we go.
Yeah. But welcome to Crowd Favorites. Your boy D Jones, aka Mr. Well Alright, aka the designated caster. What's good, fellas?
What's happening?
Your boy Devil the Don, the kid that did Devin.
It's your boy Trey, you know what I'm saying? Him, not them. Himmy Turner, him Duncan, him Jones, Hebron James, you know what I'm saying? That's a new one. Hakeem Olajuwon. I'm one of them ones.
Yeah. He Jordan. Anyway, I got you. I realized that when you said he, not them, that's dope. I like that one a lot. That's my favorite one of your AKAs. He, not them. That sounds like something I would have said. He, not them. That's
Read
dope. I
his
like
hat.
that.
Yes.
Yeah, for sure. Read it. But yeah, man. How y'all doing? Everybody doing good?
Man, blessed and highly favored.
Yes, sir.
For sure.
Can't
Definitely highly favored. Listen, man, all of our listeners out there, our fans of Crowd Fair, we appreciate y'all again. Episode 7 here on deck. Before we get into any conversation for this evening, today is February 28th, 2023. I guess credence and appreciation to our ancestors, our great grandparents, our grandparents, even our parents, even us. You know what I'm saying? There's 3 black men in this room. I'm sure all of us have experienced some type of, negative, as far as being a black person in today's society, at some point in our lives. And so we just wanted to, just pay homage to all the people before us, and just say, we appreciate all the sacrifices and the compromises that you had to make in order to just even be seen in this earth that we live in. So definitely shout out to everybody.
Shout out all the black kings and queens, man.
For sure. Definitely for sure. We'll jump right on into it. NFL talk, it's where we are right now. Super Bowl is done. We're in the off season. I think the next big thing coming up is the combine this week. You want to start there with combine since that's the next thing we go to with the release?
Yeah, I mean, we could talk about some of the key notable releases.
All right. So go ahead, Michael. Go ahead.
Kenny Golladay, man, 1 touchdown, 43 catches. And he was there for about 3 years. Cut.
That's all he had within the 3 years?
Yeah.
Oh, man. Yeah. Sorry.
It was bad, right? But it's like, dang, okay, they now expect the Giants to go look at a receiver, especially in this year's draft. You got, Nathaniel Dell. You have Jackson Smith and Jigba. You have Zay Flowers. You have I'm missing one. Josh Downs. You got a lot of good receivers. Quentin Johnston, some good receivers coming out, and Jordan Addison. You have at least a solid 8 receivers that'll go between the first and second round. So I expect the Giants to use one of those picks to get a receiver.
For sure. I personally, when I look at Kenny Golladay, I saw the success he had in Detroit. I feel like that's kind of where he made his name, as that's why he kind of got that opportunity to go to the Big Apple. I feel like, and I always say this too, like, offensive coordinators got to get a little more, challenge upon their title. You have a weapon like that. He's a big specimen of a human, a big target. Like, you got to get him involved, man. Like, there's no way you can tell me that sorry Detroit made it happen.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But you over here, way more weapons to even balance it out, where he ain't gonna get the double teams like that all the time, and you can't make it happen. Something seemed a little shaky there, but then I also think about everything else that's going over there with New York as well, and I think that's why both New York teams are kind of where they are currently. So, but for me, I'm looking at this free agent. They are free agents now, but people who got released today: John Johnson from the Browns, Kenny Golladay, as he said earlier, with the Giants, Jimmy G. What what's his name? Geno Smith. You know what I'm saying? He got released.
No,
He didn't.
no, he just a notable free agent.
Oh no, we're free agent. My bad. Well, I thought. My bad. I'm sorry for that. But Leonard Fournette also did get released though. But I know for me, I think the big one, Jimmy G got released though, right?
No,
You didn't?
He's just a free agent.
Oh, I think you said. Oh, my bad. My fault. Sorry, listeners. My bad. I was reading too fast. My fault. Well, anyway, so it's only 3 players that got released.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, the 3 got released: John Johnson, Galladay, and Leonard Fournette. I'll say this: Leonard Fournette to me, I think that's going to be a big pickup for somebody if they can get him in there. I think if they can get him in there where his body is where it needs to be, though, that's a big thing with him. I think him, Ezekiel Elliott, those are 2 running backs that come to mind that like they are very productive when they're playing, but they have to like kind of keep their body weight right. You know, they have that Zion effect. They too big and then they on the bench and you know what I'm saying in street clothes.
Yeah.
Or you know team hoodies. And so neither one of them is going to be productive for the team. Neither one is good for the pocketbook of the owners. And so I feel like you know if he can go ahead and get his weight right, even at the end at the end of the season he was very productive with the Buccaneers when they gave him the ball. So to get him on a team, you know what I'm saying, with a good O-line, and I think it'll be nice.
Nah, he's still a 3rd down back. 3 down back, sorry.
Yeah, 3 down back.
I think that, like you said, watch his weight. But a team will pick him up pretty quick. I don't see him just, you know, straggling along coming towards August, of course. Like I can see him picked up as early as June. Like somebody that could be a championship caliber team may pick him up, you know, carry that load towards the playoffs. A lot of, you know, teams are now doing that 2-3 running back system to keep everyone fresh.
Go get him Eagles so Bijan can stay there. I will also say this too with notable free agents. I think Jimmy G, the perfect place for him, the perfect place for Jimmy G would literally be Tampa Bay.
I can see that.
All those weapons, man. Like I think he can go there and thrive. Just finally have the keys to not have to look over his shoulder. You know what I'm saying? I think his whole career he's been doing that. You know what I'm saying? Looking over his shoulder for somebody.
Yeah.
Now he can go over there and just, you know, he's still relatively young for the position. Go there to Tampa Bay and do work, man. He's a winner. He doesn't lose games. You know what I'm saying? I think he plays very well. I mean, to me, you almost look at, if it wasn't for Brock Purdy having the success he had, you almost look at San Fran like, what are you doing? Because, you know what I'm saying? He does get it done, so.
You got also, like, I'm thinking about, like, quarterback-wise that's available. Geno Smith, if the Seahawks are stupid if they don't re-sign him. Get him a good deal. I think
the Jets talking about him.
Yeah, the Jets were interested in getting him back.
I wouldn't even go back if I was.
Yeah,
I wouldn't
after all that he went through there, I think it's best that Seahawks gave him that opportunity. So why not blossom with that team? And I think you got some good receivers. I think you could probably add one in the draft too in the first 2 rounds that can help him out, give him weapons. And they got 2 picks in the first round. They got the 5th and the 20th. So they got an opportunity to really get some people and keep Geno. Get him a good contract, but something affordable the way you can get those top players. And I think the Seahawks will be right back in a playoff hunt. But I'm thinking about Taylor Heineke from Washington. He's leaving. They just cut Carson Wentz, who would have been a nice person to put on there. Carson Wentz, they let him go. I don't know where his destination is heading. He still has. I feel like he has some years left in the tank. But
he just needs somebody to give him that boost of confidence, man.
Somebody got to take a chance on him. I don't know who that would be, but I could see Washington scooting up in the top 10. Eric Bieniemy, being the OC there in Washington now. I think he wants to try to bank on try to take a chance on getting a top quarterback. Now that they don't believe Sam Howell will be the quarterback for going into week 1. So I think they should take a chance, get that rookie deal versus trying to get someone coming in there. You can be able to help McLaurin. Terry McLaurin.
Terry McLaurin,
Yeah, getting him, and then you got Chris Samuels, you got Jahan Dotson. You got a lot of those receivers there, and getting a rookie quarterback to help mold, because some of them are still young. Terry McLaurin is probably one of the older guys now, like a vet, 5-6 years, but the rest are at least 3 to 4 years, if that. So, and Jahan Dotson is a sophomore this year, coming into the 2023 season.
For sure. I'm surprised Derek Carr didn't get a call from the Buccaneers.
Nah, I think he's going to New Orleans.
I think so too, but I'm surprised that with all those weapons they have and they just missing a quarterback, I'm surprised they didn't call Derek Carr. But
I just feel like, some of those franchises, that's why I think the culture, gonna jump up to the first round and jump up to the first pick, and get Bryce Young. Those teams that keep getting vets, it's not working out. The coach, since Andrew Luck retired, they've been running through about 6-7 quarterbacks. The Washington has been down through about 3 to 4 quarterbacks. Since probably RG3, they've been, they haven't, had a consistent quarterback. Alex Smith probably was the longest. Huh?
Kirk Cousins
was there, but the consistency is not there. And it hasn't been for the past 5 years. So those teams are going to probably go try to get a rookie this time and see if that works out. Washington has tried that in the top 10, and you see, it didn't really pan out for him. RG3, Dwayne Haskins, those type of quarterbacks didn't really pan out, and Washington. But I think they can try with a new OC, and it may work.
I feel like if RG3 didn't hurt his knee, he could have
for
definitely had a
for sure. Those some exciting players. But looking for Jimmy G. You said where?
I think Tampa Bay would be perfect for him.
Tampa Bay. I can also see him, going somewhere like the Jets.
Yeah.
Because your brother said it best, and I had been thinking about it since that conversation last week's episode about Aaron Rodgers going to the Raiders, West Coast. Like I could see that actually happening, then him going to the Jets, and now the Jets are going to be looking at, okay, can we draft one? Sure, or we can go get what's left, Jacoby Brissett or Jimmy G. And I think Jimmy G is good enough to start, get his contract, and the Jets to me are a quarterback away.
And the Jets came out a little while ago and said we still believe that Zach Wilson is a very high ceiling guy, a lot of potential. So they all over the place. And I want to say too to all them teams out there, listen, man, if y'all can hear me, D. Jones, Mr. Well, all right here, crowd favorite. Listen, if you want to get rid of a player, why you worried about what conference he go to? You know what I'm saying? You get rid of him, like, that's weak to me. You know what I'm saying? Oh, we might get rid of Aaron Rodgers, but we ain't going to trade him in the NFC. Why not? Go compete. Beat him. Show him why we let you go. You know what I'm saying? Like, now, I think you make yourself limited, and teams know that, so now they can get the farm, you know what I'm saying, from you to get that player because we know you want him out of your conference. You know what I'm saying? That's weak to me. I wouldn't care where you go. That's why I appreciate the Raiders for being like, hey, we'll release you by this date if we ain't traded you. And he had no trade clause, so he had to agree to the team anyway. Fine. Release you, go where you want, so want to go, want to go. You can go within the same division if you wanted to, and they don't care. I appreciate that.
No cap. I feel like a lot of teams are scared to go through that rebuilding phase. You know what I'm saying? That's why I feel like I understand it's a business at the end of the day, and you got to try to get the best bang for your buck, and people want to win like right now. But I feel like if you want to become one of those dominant dynasties, like how we've seen, the Patriots back when Tom Brady and them was there, and then what Kansas City is turning into and whatnot, and like to get to that type of result, you have to. Like slow and steady wins the race. So you have to invest in certain people. You got to give them a chance to actually thrive. Surround them with the people that are going to help them thrive, and have coaches that are going to mesh with the players and things of that different nature. Because, like I think I said this on the last podcast, like Rome wasn't built in a day. You know what I'm saying? Like it's going to take time. You're not going to go you may not go to the playoffs every season. You may not make it to the conference championship or the Super Bowl every season, because you're seeing certain teams like doing it all the time. It seems like Kansas City is there every single year, but you got to think about what they've been doing. Like they invested in Pat Mahomes, they invested in Kelsey, they had Tyreek Hill there for a little while, and they had some people rotating in and out. But investing in those guys, trusting the process, and letting them mold together and become that unit that they need to be, that's what's going to make your team become that dominant dynasty. You know what I'm saying? So you kind of just got to take that risk sometimes, and sometimes it's going to hit, sometimes it's not, just like a parlay. You know what I'm saying? But when it hits, you're going to be up.
Right. I feel that for sure. For sure. Jumping on into the combine, you know what I'm saying? That's this week, right? Starts this week. Starts Thursday?
Thursday, March 2nd. They switched it up a little bit. They're starting off on Thursday with the linebackers and the defensive linemen. So they're starting with that. And then following Friday, they're doing the DBs. So normally the DBs are the last. Now they are second. And then you have Saturday, March 4th, you have quarterbacks, receivers, and tight ends, and then on Sunday you have running backs and offensive linemen.
So usually they end up on a Monday, so that's weird. They did change it, but I mean, whatever. NFL, do your thing. I don't like DBs going second. That's crazy. Let them go last. The fastest guy, like, come on now. Duh. But anyway, I don't know. But I'm just saying, I'm a DB guy. For me personally, I think the combine is great. It's like an open tryout for the job you're applying for. Basically, it's like an interview. You know what I'm saying? For me, I can't imagine how I'd be in that situation if I was one of these top, college athletes coming out. I remember like speaking with with Tommy last episode, and then with Aaron Green previously, like two San Antonio greats, two players who
also the new UTSA assistant coach too.
Who?
Aaron Green.
Really?
Oh, that's tough. Shout out Aaron Green, man.
Yep. That's dope. But yeah, also shout out to Aaron Green for that. Have to call him out for that. But we'll talk. Just the idea, fact that two San Antonio legends, two very productive college careers, and then to not even get an invite to this, particular event, it's hard. You know what I'm saying? But I do know, like, for me, I can't imagine me being one of these top college athletes and then going. And you're very confident. I think most people are very confident in themselves and their ability. You feel like I'm that dude, but then you go out there in front of all these like NFL scouts and NFL coaches. Like if I'm out here and I'm walking down the street and I see Mike Tomlin, I'm probably gonna figure out, oh shoot, that's Mike Tomlin. So I can imagine how they feel. Like this is Mike Tomlin. You know what I'm saying? So they have to perform for Bill Belichick and Mike Tomlin and Sean Payton now, like all these people, Kyle Shanahan, like people who are household names, and try to impress them with how you move on the field on that particular day. I know it could be very like, almost like a man getting on one knee proposing. You know what I'm saying? Like very just, nerve wracking. And so definitely shout out to all the, the players out there in that event. I hope they perform well. Hope you run fast. I will say this too. In reference to, I want to ask y'all's opinion with quarterbacks. I know you mentioned some of the top quarterbacks. I think Anthony Richardson and CJ Stroud are going to be throwing. I know a lot of times quarterbacks prefer or they choose not to throw at the combine or throw at their pro day where they're at on their own campus where they're comfortable with their receivers they play the whole college season with, and they kind of can go through their own little script of what passes and what things to do, so they're very comfortable. How do you feel about quarterbacks, throwing or not throwing in the combine?
I'm a little on the fence, like 50-50, but I think more so I like to see like quarterbacks. So I applaud CJ Stroud and Anthony Richardson for throwing, because it shows like, hey, I'm versatile with multiple receivers. I can mesh with multiple receivers versus being in my own comfort zone back at college where I'm throwing to people that I've already thrown to before. You get what I'm saying? So it's like, hey, like CJ Stroud gonna see Jordan Addison. You know what I'm saying? He may be throwing it to Jordan Addison. It may be like, all right, let's see how he throws. Like how can he mesh with them? Houston has the 2nd and the 12th pick.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So it's like, oh, they do mesh well, or C.J. Stroud and Quentin Johnston mesh well. So boom, let's see. Oh, I seen that at the combine how fluent Quentin Johnston is, and how C.J. Stroud can lead him, and the chemistry that they had was just right there. That's like another impression that can help someone else. So I look at it like that. So I like the pro day, especially when you're the number one player, quarterback in the draft. Bryce Young, like, okay, you're already talking about his size and saying that may be a detriment to him and for his career. 5'10" and a half is what they listed him as, and now they're saying, oh, I'm a little worried to draft him so high. But guess what? Jim Irsay with the Colts thinks otherwise. So he's like, hey, I don't really have to prove myself at the combine because they know how I throw. Let me just do my pro day and get it done. A lot of players are starting to do that and still getting drafted high.
No, yeah, I can agree with that for sure. I would say I'm on the fence about it too. Well, if I'm calling a spade, I don't like when players don't like participate in everything that comes with the combine. You know what I'm saying? Because it can kind of show a level of, some people might look at it as like arrogance. Like in certain situations, some people be like, nah, like I'm not doing it because I don't want to. Look at Deion, for example. Like he knew he was the fastest dude out there, so he's like, what I need to go out here and run for? What I need to prove myself for? But
he still ran the 40.
No, yeah, he did run the 40, but like it's like, what I'm thinking about is when you got players going out there and they're just like, okay, I don't want to do this, I don't want to do that. You already know what I'm on and all that type of stuff. I feel like it's a disservice to the people who are potentially looking at you to draft you because they're taking a risk on you. So let's just say if I'm watching you play college ball and you look fast as a mug on the field, you know what I'm saying? But then when we get there, or you look really strong and you don't want to bench, or you don't want to do the 40, or you don't want to do the shuttle drill or something like that, that's going to make me think like, okay, either he's hiding something or he just feels like I don't know, I got to get my eyes to see what you can do, because if I take the risk and be like, okay, yeah, he the fastest dude on film, I haven't seen him run in person, bet I'm going to draft him number 1 overall or just wherever it's at. But then when we get you on the field and we see all these other dudes are running right next to you, it's going to be like, dang, you wasn't as fast as I thought you was, or something of that nature. But going back to what Devo had said earlier, with these quarterbacks, like not wanting to throw, I feel like them wanting to throw at their pro day, yeah, that's cool. You're in a comfortable environment. You have a little bit more time to get ready and actually like sell yourself. But it goes back to him saying trying to mesh with new receivers, because you can stay at the crib all you want and throw to your receivers you've been having throughout your whole college career. But as soon as you go to them OTAs, it's going to be a whole new team. And that's going to be a first for you. Like, first time getting exposed to that, you can go out there and really just sell and not really do that good. And you can't sit there and blame the wide receivers for not meshing with you, or, oh, they underrunning my routes, or they overrunning them, or, no, my O-line ain't blocking, they ain't doing this, they ain't doing that. It's like, hey, bro, this is what comes with it. Like, you have to be able to adapt. You can't sit here and try to hide behind the curtain of comfortability. You got to be comfortable with being uncomfortable and getting yourself ready for that next level, because at the NFL level, everybody's good, everybody's fast. And I feel like it's good for them to go out there and mesh with these potential teammates they could have, because like you said, they might have a receiver. Me as a GM, I might be thinking like, okay, I want to take this quarterback, and I've been thinking about getting this wide receiver at this pick. That way we get both of them. Oh, okay, let's try to set it up to where he can throw to him real quick so we can see how they work out.
I personally, I agree with both of y'all. I guess my I want to say a rebuttal, but a question would be, well, how do y'all feel about when players set up for that last bowl game? Because I feel like this, if you're a competitor, like, you should want to play. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. Like, I couldn't imagine like going to, the game right outside of the playoff on whatever bowl it would be, and then saying like, oh, no, I ain't gonna play because I'm trying to go to the draft. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. Like, I want to go out there with my brothers. You know what I'm saying? We've been out there doing all this together. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, walking the sideline, eating sunflower seeds and wearing a hoodie to me is a little bit off when I just went through battle with y'all for 15 weeks and trying to accomplish a goal. Like, I don't know.
I mean, there is pros and cons when it comes to that. Like, for instance, let's say Georgia, right? Nobody even they probably got about 8 to 10 people going to the league getting drafted from this year's team. You know, so yeah, late round, right? But anyway,
draft doesn't matter, right?
Yeah, but yeah, like, so they got numerous of draft picks coming out, and you got to think about it. All of them are going to play. It's the national championship, right? So that's the pro. Is like, hey, if you're one of those top 4, top 6 teams, like, you're gonna participate in that because you got that team there, and it's like finishing the job. Some of them, like, that are not participating are people that are in those low bowl games, those bowl games that is not competing for a national championship, or the main Fiesta Rose Bowl, or you got the Georgia Bowl, the Peach Bowl, Chick-fil-A Bowl, all those bowl games, like the top tier ones. If you're not competing for that, like, it's like, why should I risk getting hurt? For instance, when Jameson Williams tore his ACL in the national championship game, like, he still got drafted in the top 15. He went 12 to the Lions, but it was like, dang, he was out all the way up until October. But he took that chance, and that's the con about it, is like, hey, you participate in it and you can still risk getting hurt. Mm-hmm. And that could it won't help your draft stock when it comes to you tearing something or you breaking something. Mm-hmm. So it's like, it's a pro and a con with it. Like, some people, like, if like, for instance, your name is Bryce Young was just a competitor, clearly. But if Bryce Young said, I didn't want to participate in the bowl game, like, I feel like Nick Saban, the way they roll, is not going to be like that. But if it was to be like that, he has the right to. I'm going number one. Mm-hmm. Like, sometimes you're going number one. Sometimes there's unanimous, number one picks. In this case, it is. But it's like, it's just the Chicago Bears is not the ideal landing spot for them, so they're going to have to make some shake. Yeah.
I think, I think it just depends on the situation for the player, to be exact. What I mean is, I heard you say earlier, it was like, it depends on the bowl game, like a national championship, a higher ranking bowl game, then you got some lower ones. But I tell y'all this all the time, I'm a very logical thinker. We all done been on teams before, whether it was track or football, baseball, whatever it is. And just to think, you work hard through a whole season. I'm thinking from the teammate's perspective as well, too, not just the player. Like, you work hard through a whole season, you get to the bowl game and whatnot, and you know that y'all rely on this player for y'all to be successful. And now the team's success in getting a ring, maybe one ring, the only ring you had the chance of getting throughout your college career as that team together, that brotherhood that y'all bonded or made together, they end up saying like, oh yeah, like, essentially how people can think of about it is like, oh, I'm bigger than the team, I'm focused on my future, I'm gonna get up out of here, sorry. But I'm not finna help y'all get this ring. Then you go out there and get smacked, and now you sitting there mad like, oh, bro, like he left. Like you happy for him, but at the same time, it's like that's a moment where I would think about in the future. But at the same time, you got to think about where you at right now because I don't want to abandon my brothers. But at the same time, I got to focus on my future. And like you said, you have some unanimous first round picks. And that brings me back to saying it depends on the player and the situation and their position, honestly. Like going out there at quarterback, you got a crazy offensive line, like they're gonna protect you and whatnot. The probability of you getting hurt, like, it's kind of low. Like if I was the coach, I'd be like, hey, look, try not to scramble as much. If you about to get sacked, go down. Just throw the ball. We're gonna try to dip and dabble it, hand the ball off and all that stuff. We're gonna play it safe, that way you don't get hurt, but you also contribute and help the team out. I'm not going to go out there and take Bryce and be like, hey, I need you to scramble, try to get these first downs, do this, do that, and boom, hurt yourself. You know what I'm saying? But also, depending on the caliber of player, some of these teams in the NFL are going to be like, hey, I know you're cold on the field. It just so happens that you suck. What was Buddy's name that tore the ACL, you said?
Jameson Williams.
Jameson Williams. Teams was looking at him and was like, yeah, he's the truth. He went out here. We saw the play. We saw the film. We saw he hurt himself. It's unfortunate, but we know he's going to bounce back from this. He may have dropped out the first top 5, top 10 or whatever, because those are the teams that are like, yo, I need a player now that's going to be able to get on the field. But you can still end up getting in a spot to where it's like, hey, we know you like that. As soon as you get healed back up, you're going to get on the field and you're going to produce for us. So it's kind of like you got to flip a coin with it because it depends on your current situation, depends on what your draft stock is looking like, because sometimes it can hurt you going out there and playing, and y'all end up doing really bad and they end up seeing some things they never saw from you before, like on the field. Say if Bryce Young went out there and just sold and was doing really bad in the game, that can make some teams look and be like, well, maybe CJ Stroud should go before him. But he went out there and he prospered, and that like solidified his spot. So these last bowl games can either amplify your draft stock or bring it down or keep it neutral, really. You know what I'm saying? And running that risk of getting injured, that's high risk, high reward. But it also just depends on the player and whatnot. You feel what I'm saying? I didn't mean to drag that out too much.
No, you good.
No, you good. It definitely amplified CJ Stroud's draft stock when his championship game. They lost, but he put up a good fight against Georgia in the semifinal, and that helped him. Now for sure secure a top 10 pick for sure. It can range between as early as 2 to 10. Depending where Anthony Richardson falls. Some people are saying that it's a possibility Anthony Richardson can go 3rd if the Panthers trade up, or people are trading up to treat him as if they did the same thing a couple years ago for Trey Lance. But it's like, hey, he's a project. Like, I don't think he'll probably start right away. I could be wrong. He has probably the best arm in the draft class, but it's like, is he ready to play today? And that's to be determined. So. There's at least 4 quarterbacks going in the first round in the first 15. It could possibly one of them may slip out. One of them just might. And 4 of them may go top 10. It all depends. But like you said, like it can help you or it won't. In some cases, it's best not to, based off your position for sure.
From personal experience, I remember. I mean, I have to sit out no bowl game. I ain't been to no bowl game, but I've been to. I think my brother played a total of 4 bowl games that I had went to. I think I went to 3. He played in 4. But his last game, where they played Josh Dobbs and them from Tennessee, Alvin Kamara was there too. Like he was playing, he was going crazy. But my brother had to sit out because he had just tore or strained or pulled his hamstring, something of that nature. Like he messed his hamstring up and he had to sit out. But that was whenever he was about to get ready to like do the draft thing and whatnot and pursue the NFL. And I just know my brother's mentality. He was like, I wanted to get out there and play. Like, if I would have played, I could have made a difference in the game. And like, it would have definitely been a different type of game if he was out there playing. I think they had Riker Fife. Shout out Riker. Like, good quarterback and whatnot. But we all know, like, with the way that he was a pocket passer, but the way Tommy played, it was definitely made like a big difference in the game. But I remember talking to him. He was just like, yeah, bro, like, if I wasn't hurt, I was definitely going to end up playing. And that goes back to us saying it depends on the team situation and everybody else on the squad. And, like, you know what I'm saying? So,
I mean, Jamar Chase out of the whole year.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, to me, that's just like a little bit like off. You know what I'm saying? Like, just, I don't know. For me, I feel like, you know what I'm saying? Like, if you're going to get hurt, you're going to get hurt regardless. Like, so just go out there and play. Like, I appreciate Bryce Young and Will Anderson both. Like, nah, coach, we're going to play. You know what I'm saying? We're not in the playoff. We're going to go out here and play this last game with our team and try to, get a win. They already know where they're going. You know what I'm saying?
But sometimes when you underperform, in the bowl games, like there's a possibility that your draft stock may, drop. but it may be the best decision for you. Like if people get hurt, like we didn't see that the Lions were gonna be this good this year, right? Turning their season around, it's getting better for them. Now you got a weapon of Jameson Williams coming back. So now he got targets. So now he's on a solid team now versus saying, hey, I was top dog and, I performed well, XYZ, and now I'm going top 10, but I'm on a sorry team. So now I'm now liable to help change this program. And sometimes based off your destination, it don't work out like that.
True.
Speaking of Anthony Richardson, we hear all this talk about, best arm in the draft class, the biggest potential, high risk, high reward. If y'all are a GM, you know what I'm saying, he's listed as, I think for the projection, I think the 4th rated quarterback coming out behind Levis, CJ Stroud, and Bryce Young. Are you taking a chance? I see a few players that this same situation or same headline applies to. Malik Willis last year from Liberty, Trey Lance, Carson Wentz, some good, some bad. Carson Wentz almost won MVP. Should have won if he got hurt. You know what I'm saying? Would have won if he didn't get hurt. So it's kind of like, do you feel like, okay, yeah, I'm taking him, or do you feel like, nah, I'm not? You know what I'm saying? If you the Panthers, do you go get him at 3? You know what I'm saying? Or do you just hope he fall to you at 7 or whatever it is?
I hope. Because it's like the Panthers, y'all need more than just a quarterback. Y'all need a running back. Deontay Foreman is a free agent. Y'all need a for sure back. You don't have Christian McCaffrey no more. Like they need more than just a quarterback, but it'll be nice. But you just drafted Matt Corral, who was hurt last year, and now he's healthy, and give him a shot. If Anthony Richardson at pick 9, then pick him, versus trading up assets and stuff to get him, and then it's not promising because he may not be ready to start.
I just feel like, like I said a couple episodes ago, the quarterback position is so highly, looked at. You know what I'm saying? There's like a beam constantly. They be in their hit bed sleep. They beaming on them, like trying to figure out what they're doing. And it's one of those situations where it's kind of like Chicago, for example. They got first overall pick. They got Justin Fields, who had a great year this year. Mm-hmm. There's so much pressure on them right now, even with that number 1 pick, because it's like, we got Justin Fields. He did great for us. But if Bryce Young ends up being anything as to what they are saying he's going to be, now we have failed again. You know what I'm saying? We could have had Mahomes. We could have had Deshaun Watson. We could have had, all these other great quarterbacks. And we fail. And even if Justin Fields becomes, I don't know, if he becomes Jalen Hurts, you know what I'm saying? Is that, and then Bryce Young becomes Patrick Mahomes, damn, we lost again. You know what I'm saying? I guess for me, my mindset is more than just selling tickets, and wins can help you sell tickets. So, the quarterback is so highly scrutinized and so highly viewed. It's like if I have any type of, I have to trust my scouts because I hired him. If I have any type of inkling that this guy can be the guy, I gotta go get him, because sometimes, in my opinion, a quarterback can change the whole demographic of the rest of the team. You know what I'm saying? He just said it right here with his brother. They were playing Josh Dobbs, and his brother played. That's a big game on TV, big showcase against another top quarterback that year. You know what I'm saying? You put your team on the map, you put yourself on the map, you do a lot of different things. They lost, you know what I'm saying? The other quarterback played well, like you said, but it changed the whole demographic. The quarterback can change everything. Baltimore is another team we speak about every year because of Lamar Jackson. You know what I'm saying? The Eagles are now going to be relevant for years to come because of Jalen Hurts. The Chiefs have been relevant even when Mahomes was on the bench. You know what I'm saying? Behind Alex Smith, because they're like, hey, when he get in this field, we done seen it in training camp. It's going to be a problem. You know what I'm saying? Teams are Joe Burrow coming out. We knew Cincinnati was going to be good, and they had been horrible for years. They really, really good now. Buffalo Bills, same thing with Josh Allen. So again, the quarterback is so a big deal, in my opinion, the most important position in all of professional sports. If you have any type of, if your scouts feel like he's the guy, you gotta go get him.
Yeah, I just feel 4 quarterbacks is for sure going in the top 10, and teams, when you get around 6, where Detroit is, right, they're not getting a quarterback, but 7 is Las Vegas, 8 is Atlanta, and 9 is Carolina. And I can see people trading hypothetically, what if the Ravens traded to pick 7 or pick 8 with the Raiders or the Falcons to try to get Lamar Jackson? In exchange for Lamar Jackson, you get the 2 first-round picks, and then he gets his guaranteed contract, but he gets traded, or something like that. If that can happen, right? Now you're looking at, okay, someone jumped in front of Carolina to get the Anthony Richardson or the Will Levis that's still there. You know, because C.J. Stroud and Bryce Young going in the top 3 is all about what the Bears are going to do. I can see them trading back. I'm about 95% sure they're going to trade out that pick. They want compensation. The Bears have $95 million in cap space, far from Atlanta having only 66, cutting Marcus Mariota today. But, yeah, with the Bears, they have more than enough money. Get more. Because now you can really fill up some pieces to help Justin Fields go address the offensive line. You have pick 4. Go get Jalen Carter or Will Anderson. I'm assuming Jalen Carter, but you can be able to do something. So trade that pick, but it's going to be quarterback heavy, and people they're going to be anxious. So expect somebody like the Ravens to trade up. You just never know. Ravens to trade up, or you may see Washington trade up. They may want to go get a quarterback, or you may see Panthers trade up just because they're in fear that somebody may trade up before 7. Because we don't know what the Raiders have done. Aaron Rodgers hasn't said anything yet. Anything like that can happen. Once Aaron Rodgers makes his decision, that may, it may weed out the draft process a little bit. You may see, okay, now we know that these teams are the needy quarterback teams in the first 10, top 10. You get what I'm saying? So, yeah.
I feel like a lot of change, especially whenever they, like you said, once teams start solidifying who their QB is going to be, who's staying, who's leaving, and whatnot. So, especially like Aaron Rodgers and then Lamar, you know what I'm saying, and then figuring out where like Jimmy G's going to end up going with like the New York situation, because we said that might be a good spot for him to go. And once all these teams get like these top like problems that they need to get fulfilled done, that's going to change like the whole demographic of the way the draft's going to end up going. It might end up switching some spots because okay, we got our quarterback, or we got our running back, or we picked up these linemen and whatnot, you know what I'm saying? So now we can focus on trading to get this, or not trading our picks to, you know what I'm saying, like compensate and whatnot. So that's soon as soon as the combine happens and then they get these contracts and stuff solidified from these free agents right now, that's whenever I feel like we would have a really clear picture about what's to come when it comes to the draft.
Ain't the draft before the free agency?
Nah, free agency can happen. It happens in March. March 15th is the new league year.
I thought it was always they couldn't sign until after the draft. I don't know. That's the way I thought that before, but I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong. I mean, I feel that. I mean, I definitely agree with that wholeheartedly. If that's how it is, then, sign your free agents first and then draft. I think it would, because I know NBA is different. NBA is opposite. NBA is, draft first and then free agent, which is like weird to me because now if I go draft a point guard and I got Chris Paul sitting here as a free agent, he thought about coming here and now he ain't coming here. You know what I'm saying? He was winning draft to the point guard. So I think it's weird. But I mean, I don't know. I will say this with I definitely agree with like Tommy said last episode. I think Aaron Rodgers is going to Oakland, which means that 7th pick would now probably belong to the Packers, which means now that they're not going to draft a quarterback. They're going to give Love a chance. And now that changes the whole draft. So again, if I'm Panthers, you probably can sit there and wait. You know what I'm saying? And just let him fall into your lap. I did highly believe that Lamar Jackson would get traded until he put that tweet out. Now he probably gonna stay there and weak ass Baltimore. That's fine. That's his choice. I just wanted to see him go somewhere else, honestly. You know what I'm saying?
What was? I'll read the tweet real quick. That's good that you talked about that. Yeah, because you that's what you saying is like like Lamar made that what he said. You're taking the context that he might stay.
Yeah.
But Trey had a great point that we talked about offset. And hold on, it's loading. He said, no matter the circumstances, never crack, just relax. No matter the circumstances, never crack, just relax. That's like, I think of it as, hey, like, no matter what, don't fold. Everything gonna work itself out. So, stay cool. And what you were saying, correct me if I'm wrong, is saying, hey, like, that saying that, hey, like, we working out a deal, we gonna stay, right?
Yeah, like, basically saying, like, no matter what the people on TV are saying, no matter what these insiders are saying where I should go, just relax. Like, it's gonna work itself out. Like, me and Baltimore are gonna figure it out. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna be here. So,
I mean, I feel like with the way you just said, I didn't mean to cut you off. With the way you said that, it can kind of go to where he said, can you say the tweet one more time? That way I can get it fresh in my mind.
No matter the circumstances, never crack, just relax.
Okay, so no matter the circumstances, never crack, just relax. So what I took from that, what we was talking about, was he's hearing the blog saying, hey, I should go to this team, or Baltimore's going to pay him, or Baltimore's not going to pay him and stuff. But the whole origin to the problem, not problem, but the origin to this whole little story about Lamar is, hey, I want X amount of dollars to play. And if y'all not going to pay me, I'll probably end up leaving, going somewhere else. Or if y'all do want to pay me, I'll end up staying here. So what I took from that was he was saying, hey, no matter, like you were saying, like no matter what the noise is on the outside and stuff, stay in 10 toes and stand on what you said you was going to do. And for me, kind of hearing him, like thinking that he's saying it like that, he's basically like, yeah, if they don't want to pay me, I'm going somewhere else. And that's what I told him. Like I said what I said, and if they are going to pay me, I'm going to end up staying here, and I'm going to stay loyal and all that type of stuff. So I feel like I can kind of go either way. But I think the type of person I am, like if I would have tweeted something like that, it would basically just be like, yep, I stood on what I was saying I was going to do, and I might end up be leaving, or I might not be leaving, because he could have talked to Baltimore and they were just like, hey, we can't give you this money and whatnot. He was just like, all right, yeah, stay solid, never fold, stand on your 10 toes. I'm about to go somewhere else.
I just think like it's just been drawn out now to the point where it's like, okay, you signed Roquan Smith to a huge deal at linebacker, but this is your quarterback. This is the guy that has changed your franchise these past 5 years. This is the guy that won MVP with your team. Mm-hmm. You know, this is your guy, and you're taking forever and a day to get him the money that he deserves. But you went and, you did that for Roquan Smith. Yet, we get it. You know, Ravens, bullies of Baltimore, yeah, woohoo, right? But this is your quarterback, and they're not known for just having the top premier quarterback. Yeah, you had Joe Flacco, right? That he won a Super Bowl, but Joe Flacco wasn't.
He's not Lamar.
He's not
sure.
Lamar Jackson.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? He's not the guy that's keeping your stadium filled with seats.
Lamar changed the whole dynamic of their offense.
Do you hear me?
Yeah.
So I'm looking at it like, all right, they're taking entirely too long to make a deal. This is now an insult more than just us being patient. Mm-hmm. They keep saying we're being patient with Lamar, but at the same time, if that's your guy, if it was Tom Brady, ain't nobody waiting this long.
Yeah, because they don't want nobody else to get him.
Yeah, because so as soon as now they like, hey, now that's all it takes is for them to do the non-exclusive tag. Because guess what? They know, like, hey, we've been playing with this man's time. If we exclusive franchise tag him, he don't have to play.
Here's the thing. So I hear y'all. You know what I'm saying? Like, whole 100%. But again, like I think it's one of them situations where we see what we see. They know what they know, right? You know what I'm saying? What if Lamar's work ethic is horrible? I heard reports that he's not a good teammate. You know what I'm saying? I've heard that before. I heard that he don't necessarily like do a lot of film study. Like it's what I was saying about Zion, for example. If I'm going to invest all this money into you and you want fully guaranteed, like I got to know that that I got you on board, because once I sign that deadline and you sign it, I got to pay you no matter what. And if you ain't really like what my franchise is looking for in a quarterback, again, Ozzie Newsome drafted Lamar Jackson. The team that was constructed already, the coach and everybody, they were looking at somebody else. He just went and got him because he failed to them at that point. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know. I feel like there's something like that's not being said here. This should have been done a long time. Before the season even started, this should have been done. You know what I'm saying? It's Lamar Jackson, MVP, seat selling, ticket selling, yada, 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 yada. Like, it's Lamar Jackson. It should have been easy. But why is the deal not getting done? You know what I'm saying? Like, are we wanting somebody who's more of a passer? Are we wanting somebody who can, orchestrate the offense better? Are we wanting, what are we wanting somebody who can do spread better than, what's the issue why the contract's not done? You know what I'm saying? I think that's something that has to be looked at, because again, like, it should have been signed already. But if it's not being signed or it hasn't been signed, it makes you wonder, like, why am I not signing Lamar Jackson to this contract? You know what I'm saying? If you're willing to, almost risk him leaving your franchise and being like, all right, cool, we'll just get somebody else, like, why? You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. That has to be said in my opinion. So I don't know, my thoughts. But yeah, I mean, I know we did this little thing in pre-production. I thought it was really cool. Mock draft, you know what I'm saying? Like, me and Devin are educators. We work next door to each other, and 5 days a week, okay, without fail. He gonna say, hey man, I just did a draft, or I'm gonna do a draft right now. When the kids is quiet, I'm gonna send you one. And so we have fun with this all the time. And I think it's really a treat that we actually were all able to sit here in this room, pre-production together, and do a mock draft of the first round of the upcoming NFL draft. I'm sure everybody has their mock draft they had in front of them, but I'll let one of y'all go first, because I just want to give my rebuttals. So I'm saying, who wants to go ahead and tell their picks in the first round, how they have them seeing first?
All right, so I got a trade starting off with the first pick. I got Indy pulling up to the first pick taken from the Bears, trading a first round pick. The Bears would trade out of the first round pick. The Colts would give the first round, the first pick or their fourth pick. They'll also give a second round pick for this year and a first round pick for next year. Just something small. That's how they approve the trades here. You just really put anything, they'll accept it. But yeah, I got the Colts getting Bryce Young, despite certain experts, NFL analysts, saying that they're now worried if he may, his height may be a problem for him, and I could see that not being a problem, and he could be the next Pat Mahomes. Who knows? But Colts going get a shot at him. Then I have C.J. Stroud. C.J. Stroud at pick 2. I feel like they got the best available that they had here in the draft, knowing that there's a possibility they might pair up with a receiver, like what we just talked about with the quarterback-receiver relationship. Will Anderson, just the best person available, best prospect in the entire draft. I think that it falls right in the Cardinals' hand. I also can look at a future trade. Somebody may trade pick 3 to go get that quarterback just in case. But for today, I got Will Anderson Jr. And then for the 4th pick, trading from Indy, they are picking Jalen Carter, who they could have got at number 1, but you can still have him 3 picks later. And then for my 5th pick, Tyree Wilson has climbed up the board from January to now. 6'6" from Texas Tech, freaking nature, something like a Marcus Davenport that we had at UTSA. I'm excited to see him, and I got him going to the Seahawks at pick 5.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's kind of crazy you said that because we kind of got a very similar top 5 in our draft.
Yeah, I do.
Yeah, so I did the same thing. I kind of force traded mine. I ain't put in all the extra picks because I was like, they going to trade regardless. But I got the Chicago Bears trading their first round pick for the Colts' 4th round pick, and I got the Colts picking up Bryce Young, like you said. They do think he's undersized and whatnot, but I feel like he can actually go there and kind of turn the Colts around, kind of start rebuilding around him. And also when they talk about him being a short quarterback, I think about Tua. You know what I'm saying? Like Tua came in, and I don't know if he's bigger than Tua, around the same size and whatnot, but I feel like he'll come in and he can produce just as much, if not more, than Tua has been, especially if they start surrounding him with the right guys. So
he's the same height as Kyler Murray.
That's Kyler Murray. He is.
Yep.
I mean, he's not running like Kyler, but he can definitely sit back there and probably pass the ball better than Kyler can sit back in the pocket on a consistent basis. But that might be a hot take. I don't know. Got C.J. Stroud going 2nd to the Houston Texans. I feel like that'll be a great place for them to build the team around him. You know what I'm saying? Like we were talking about earlier, a lot of these teams are in rebuilding stages. So I knew they was going to be in my top 2. Bryce Young going to the Colts, C.J. Stroud going to the Texans. Now, when it comes to number 3, I have Will Anderson Jr., the edge rusher. I feel like this is perfect for them, being that they just lost J.J. Watt to retirement. So they can kind of have somebody who can come in and fill that void. And, I mean, granted, J.J. was playing more interior line versus being on the edge majority of the time. But I feel like he can definitely give a great presence in lieu of not having J.J. Watt there anymore. The Bears, I got Jalen Carter going there. I feel like he would be a good contribution to their D-line they have. And then Tyree Wilson can go on number 5 to the Seahawks. Like you were saying, he's 6'6". He's like a longer defensive end. And I feel like it'll be live having a defensive end that they could probably drop back into coverage out there in the flats as well, too, if he's not rushing, especially with having, tall-ass Tariq Woolen out there at corner. Like that flat area is going to be shut down for sure. So I put that as my top 5. It's my first mock draft I've ever made, too, by the way, too. So this is an experimental moment.
So yeah, that's dope. Y'all kind of have a very similar. My top 5 is different. I will say this too before I even get into my top 5. I was looking at something earlier because we both be on Twitter all day looking at stuff. And Josh McDaniels, coach of Raiders, he because you know how I think about Bryce Young's height. He said height is not a prerequisite for the QB position, which lets me know we already knew that he also likes Bryce Young. So I think the Raiders might find a way to jump up there and steal that number 1 pick from the Colts. But with my current mock draft, I have Colts and Bears switching picks 1st and 4th. Bryce Young going number 1 to the Colts. I actually have DeMeco Ryans actually going to his side of the ball defense and taking the best pass rusher, freaking nature. Somebody who's going to be on that field for years to come, like a Micah Parsons, so forth like that. So I think I see DeMeco Ryans with that 2nd overall pick taking Will Anderson. Best probably player overall in the draft. Maybe number 2 to Bryce Young. Number 3, Cardinals got to get this pick right. The best available player for them, Jalen Carter. I see Jalen Carter, you know what I'm saying, kind of showing up that inside again with J.J. Watt being out, retiring. I see the Bears taking the other freak you spoke about, Tyree Wilson, because both of the other 2 defensive players they wanted, and Will and Jalen, are gone. Next best would be Tyree Wilson going to the Bears. And I see Seahawks shocking the draft with that 5th overall pick and drafting a quarterback that they think they can have for the future, and Will Levis. I think Pete Carroll will now take take an option of drafting one of these quarterbacks early. Geno Smith is an older quarterback, even though he's played well. He's an older quarterback. Let him play for a couple years, show Will Levis the ropes, and y'all should have did 10 picks. But anyway,
we can talk about the next 5.
Yeah, I'm saying take Will Levis from Kentucky. I think him and Pete Carroll will be a match made in heaven. I think he'll thrive over there in Seattle.
Go ahead and finish your next 5.
In my next 5, the guy that the Lions, they have this guy they've been talking about a lot, Devon Witherspoon, Illinois. He's now looked at as probably the top corner coming out. Had a great Senior Bowl. They love him. The exact quote was they're drooling over him in the scout room. So they have him right there. He kind of falls into their lap. 7, without barring trade, I do see Josh McDaniels getting his his second option at quarterback in C.J. Stroud. Mind you, if Aaron Rodgers doesn't go there. With 8, I see your team, the Falcons. I think Desmond Ridder needs weapons. He has Drake London there. He has Kyle Pitts there. I think somebody could take the top off the defense with his speed. Quentin Johnston for sure out of TCU. Number 9, as we talked about earlier, the Panthers sitting there waiting. I can see Anthony Richardson falling into their lap. And to finish out the number 10, Eagles had a great season. They just franchised, or they're projected to franchise tag C.J. Gardner-Johnson, and then probably let him go after next year. And so with that being said, you actually can get this utility guy who can play safety positions, both safety positions, or all 3 corner positions, and Brian Branch, safety out of Alabama. I think you got to think about C.J. What's his name? Darius Slay getting older. Bradbury probably be gone anyway. They have to decide they're going to franchise Bradbury or Gardner-Johnson, so one going to be gone. And Brian Branch can solve a lot of your problems.
Cool. So at pick 6 with Detroit, I got Devon Witherspoon as well. Lockdown corner. Go ahead. Jeff Okudah have shown some promise this past year, so he's getting better, coming off a lot of injuries. So I think that dynamic cornerback duo would be cool. Will Levis, I got him going to the Raiders if, whatever the situation may happen with Aaron Rodgers. I got Will Levis being the quarterback because C.J. Stroud and Bryce Young are already off the board. For pick 8, I got a lot of people that I choose going to my team, going to Atlanta. But for this one, I picked Joey Porter Jr. to go ahead and help out, A.J. Terrell. I was sliding Casey Hayward into the slot because that's where he played his best ball at. Before he came here, he was with the Raiders, and he played pretty good at the slot position. And our defense coordinator said today, Ryan Nielsen, he said that expect the nickelback to be starting. So keeping Casey Hayward there on the field is pretty good, and then getting a premier shutdown corner in Joey Porter Jr. And if we get Jesse Bates. So that'll help us out. That'll strengthen the defense because it's like even if your pass rush is that weak, right? If you got lockdown defenders on both sides with a good safety that we can get in the free agency, we can still get sacks. Because if they ain't got nowhere to throw it, they're going to have to run. If they have to run, we're going to get them because we have pretty decent linebackers as well. So having another lockdown corner can probably help the edge rush until they find one. And then Anthony Richardson going to Carolina. If he's still there, in the actual draft. As of now, I got Anthony Richardson going there after they see, that Lamar Jackson goes to Atlanta. All right. I had to say that with a straight face, but yeah. But yeah, and then number 10, I have Christian Gonzalez, the corner from Oregon. I had him there because I don't believe that James Bradbury will be re-signed. I do think they'll let him walk and get C.J. Gardner-Johnson, who has 6 picks this season, who really helped get them to the Super Bowl. He was a key centerpiece in their defense, so keeping him and then getting a rookie that you can help out. because he won't be the Darius Slay, but he can be modeled after Darius Slay by getting coached up. So that's my top 10 right there.
Okay, yeah. So at number 6, similar to y'all, I got Devon Witherspoon going to the Lions to help them out at DB. For the Raiders, I got Will Levis going number 7. Yeah, that can be kind of interesting because you never know if they might be able to get A-Rod and whatnot. And if they are able to get A-Rod, that'll be a great spot for him to sit back there and kind of just get a few coaching up years sitting behind, a veteran of that caliber and whatnot, then eventually being able to take over that offense at the Raiders. Got Quentin Johnson from TCU going number 8 to the Falcons. I got Anthony Richardson going at QB obviously at QB, but going to the Panthers at number 9. And then my number 10 pick is a little bit different. I got Jordan Addison, wide receiver from USC, going to the Eagles. I feel like that'll be a cool little contribution to having, Brown and forget his name. Heisman winner.
DeVonta Smith.
DeVonta Smith. Yeah, having them three a nice little rotation and whatnot. I feel like that would be a cool contribution. They got some good wide receivers there, but you can never have enough. You know what I'm saying? Widen out the field, spread it out, take the eyes off of a few other guys you got on the field.
That's dope. Great 10 from everybody for sure. I wanted to ask y'all about one particular player that everybody has in their first round. I'm looking here right now. So the player is Bijan Robinson. Devin, you put Bijan Robinson going 26 to the Cowboys. Would hope so for sure. My team. Trey, you have Bijan Robinson going 19 to the Buccaneers. Mm-hmm. And so I wanted to ask specifically why y'all picked that team. Not necessarily with the draft, just in general. Why do you see him as a good fit there, or why do you think that team would pick that player in particular?
Okay, I can go first, I think. So you put the Cowboys, right? I feel like it's kind of funny we both picked those picks because we go back to talking about Leonard Fournette, we were talking about Zeke and whatnot, and from watching Bijan play when he was in college, he's definitely a fast, elusive back, but he's a power runner as well too. Mm-hmm. And when I see the Buccaneers, from my perspective, them picking him up at 19 will definitely fill that void instead of them trying to go out and look for another veteran running back. Because when I was thinking about Leonard, when he got to Tampa, I feel like they tried to turn him more into you're going to run the ball, but we want you to go out and catch passes and whatnot too, which, I mean, he didn't do a bad job at, but that's just not his. Like my high school coach used to tell me, he's like, hey, know who you are on the field. Know what type of player you are. And I feel like when he was at Jacksonville, when he was at LSU especially, he was known for running the ball, running between the tackles, running people over, and he can outrun you on the edge too. But you can't you got to don't make him focus on doing that because the NFL, you need versatile running backs, but that's just what his specialty was. And I feel like watching Bijan, he can definitely do that too. He can get on the flat, he can catch the ball if he needs to, but his specialty is running the ball. So I feel like the Buccaneers being able to pick him up to fill that void that Leonard Fournette was thriving in whenever he was there, especially when they went to Super Bowls in earlier years. And he was doing good in this past year, but, I mean, it wasn't enough for them not to cut him and whatnot. Getting some fresh legs in there, somebody who is open-minded, is going to buy into the system. They're going to have a new quarterback coming in. He's going to be a new running back. They're going to be kind of rebuilding the team, essentially. I feel like that would be a good place to land for him. So that's why I ended up picking the Buccaneers.
Yeah, especially because I see the Bucs getting a vet at quarterback.
Mm-hmm.
I can't see them just getting a rookie. They have Kyle Trask under contract, the former quarterback from Florida. They got him, and I can see them getting a vet. Because you don't want too many young cats in,
especially having veteran wide receivers and stuff too.
Yeah, because if not, Mike Evans is out of there.
Yeah, facts.
Yeah, Tom Brady's always had extension of the run game type running backs. James White, Burkhead, just throw it out to the flats.
Sony
Michel. They never really gave the ball, you know what I'm saying, to anybody until he left, and that's when they started. That's what they start doing now, but. With Buccaneers, kind of the same thing. That's an interesting point you said that with Leonard Fournette. They kind of changed his game to cater to Tom Brady, and it kind of took away from Leonard Fournette. So interesting for sure. You
with Dallas, I got Dallas because Tony Pollard being hurt, I can see them re-signing him because he got hurt. There may be some negotiations that may not be as promising as we were seeing. Leading up to the end of the season. I think his contract would have probably been more massive if he didn't get hurt, but they may kind of help him, but they will re-sign him back. It's like Ezekiel is fighting to just stay with the Cowboys. To me, I don't think he really has much left with them. I do think he has a couple more years in the tank. but he's a bell cow running back. They were using him more than a lot, than Tony Pollard, and then they start figuring out their niche when Mike McCarthy came here, and now they're like he's run down, injuries and his size, getting Bijan Robinson fresh legs when Tony Pollard comes back, he'll be able to fill in and they can keep both of them fresh. That'll be a great running back duo. Let Ezekiel Elliott walk.
I would say before I give mine, I disagree with that only because I think Pollard's at a point in his career where he's sat down for the first 5 years of his career behind Zeke, and he's proven that he can be a feature back. He made a Pro Bowl as a backup, and he's trying to go get featured. I've been keep hearing these rumors all the time about Sean Payton coming in and swooping up and getting him, taking him to Denver. So that's an Alvin Kamara kind of 2.0 type, elusive back. And his injury, shouldn't take a long time for him to come back. So the team I put, I don't know if y'all saw it, I had him going to the Baltimore Ravens, the team talked about earlier. And the reason why is because I think that's one of them situations where, again, I believe Lamar's going to stay there. And I think one of the things he probably talked to them was like, hey, look, I know I'm dynamic at running the ball, but I really don't want to have to keep running the ball. That's why I got hurt. Mm-hmm. And so J.K. Dobbins can't spell healthy. You know what I'm saying? Gus Edwards is getting older. And I just think that for him to be able to have somebody, like you said, dynamic, he's elusive and he's powerful, and a Bijan Robinson, this is kind of like a Saquon Barkley all over again. To have somebody like that in the draft, and we can get him, I can give him the ball all 3 downs. You know what I'm saying? He's elusive enough to do it. He's powerful enough to do it. And I don't have to run the ball as much. We can literally give the ball to him 25 times a game and let him do what he do, and I can focus on orchestrating. So I think that is a big time weapon that will almost entice Lamar to want to just like really be like, I'm cool. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna do this.
But I feel like you keeping Lamar, because you're saying that Lamar is staying, right?
Yeah.
You keeping Lamar. Ain't no way in hell you getting Bijan Robinson and you don't give him a weapon. Rashard Bateman can't spell healthy.
I mean, but Bijan Robinson is a weapon.
Yeah, he is a weapon, but a wideout. Can he throw the ball? Give him someone where we can see him actually throw the ball. Go get Zay Flowers before the Giants get him in pick 25. If he ain't gone already, go get Jackson Smith.
Yeah, both y'all has Zay Flowers there.
Yep, and Jigba. Go get one of those wideouts so we can't keep hearing these excuses on how Mark Andrews is only full-time target.
Is Lamar Jackson a good enough passer to get the receiver the ball?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. He's the Heisman Trophy winner. He's an NFL MVP.
Wait, he ran all in college to get the trophy.
Man, he threw the ball. Stop it.
I mean, he has to throw the ball at some point. I mean, you know what I'm saying? But
I feel like all quarterbacks have different styles, and that's okay. You have your pocket passes, you have your Houdinis, and that's Patrick Mahomes. You know what I'm saying? You have those type of quarterbacks. You have quarterbacks that can throw really, really far. You have quarterbacks that are inaccurate but have all the other intangibles that other quarterbacks don't have. Mm-hmm. So you can't compare and be like, oh, well, this quarterback here has to be the mold of the NFL. He has to be the replica of the Tom Brady, the Aaron Rodgers. No, because that's not your style. That's
who throws the ball better? I'm just playing. Who throws the ball better, Jalen Hurts or Lamar Jackson?
Jalen Hurts right now.
No. Who throws the ball better overall? We mean right now because Lamar
Jackson.
Overall, Lamar throw the ball better than Jalen Hurts.
You asked me and I answered it.
That's cool. I
got a perfect analogy for what you were saying.
Yes,
you agree? You agree?
No, before I get to that, I just got an analogy I was thinking about when you was talking about different caliber of quarterbacks and whatnot. I agree with that. Not all quarterbacks, not all running backs, not all any position. Nobody's going to play the same. Everybody has their own different style. Mm-hmm. That's what contributes to having a different off. Well, we're talking about quarterbacks in particular. That's what's going to contribute to your offensive play style being different. For example, Patrick Mahomes. He's known for having a strong arm, and he can run the ball. He can make crazy plays, so they can build their offense around that. Lamar is known for like running, and he could throw the ball when he needs to as well too. And I can only imagine if he had some really, really good targets around him, he'd be able to scramble around and have some receivers that can do the scramble drill and get not wide open, but get open and go up there and catch the ball and whatnot, and really not have to force a lot of stuff. Because I know when he had Hollywood, there was a stretch of time where Hollywood was dropping a whole bunch of passes and making them look bad and whatnot too. But that's a different style of play. And then you got, my GOAT, Tom Brady, somebody who's going to sit back there in the pocket. But as soon as he gets to running, people like me, I'm going to stand up on my feet. And I'm like, oh, he got a 5-yard run. Yeah, turn me up, Tom. You know what I'm saying? Like a short little scramble. But he's not known for doing that. But it's all about the people that you surround these players with. That's what's going to portray the type of player they are. So if you got Tom, this is a question I'm going to ask y'all. When you got Lamar and you got Pat. People like say Lamar, Pat, and Jalen Hurts. We know they can run the ball. And we know when they sitting back there in the pocket and they got time to throw it, they can throw the ball, especially if they got some receivers that can go do it. But let's just say if the team shuts down their run game to where the quarterback and the running back can't run the ball and they got to pass it, they might end up struggling because running the ball is their strong suit. Now let's flip it over to Tom Brady. And, like a primetime Matt Ryan or Drew Brees and whatnot, people who aren't really known for running the ball like that, but they can when they need to. When they sit back there and they pocket passing, picking defenses apart and whatnot, now when you face a defense who got a shut down defense and they can't pass the ball, the offense is going to crumble because they can hand the ball to the running back, but there's only so much the running back can do because the defense is going to key into the running plays they got. But when you got a quarterback that can scramble the ball and is a dual threat, that's what opens it up to where it's like, oh, damn, we got to account for the running back and this quarterback. You know what I'm saying? So I feel like I'm agreeing with what you were saying about different players and having different dynamics and what can help an offense, what can hurt an offense and stuff. So me personally, growing up in Texas, playing ball out here, obviously not being biased because of my brother, but that's the type of quarterbacks I grew up with all my life. I'd much rather have a quarterback that can sit back there and throw the ball and they can also run it. My brother, he was different. He can throw the ball damn near 75 yards and then also run for 200. He can throw for 300 and run for 200 on you in a game. And I remember that happening in high school all the time. But then with my quarterbacks I had, they were the same exact way. I never had a quarterback that just sits back in the pocket and just going to dice some stuff up. Like in Texas, at least in Texas high school football, you got to have a quarterback that can make it work. So that's just what I'm used to. Could be a little bit biased, but that's just the type of quarterback I'm used to seeing has some success. Now, them pocket pass quarterbacks, they usually have a line that surrounds them that's going to keep them safe back there. They usually get the best receivers that's going to end up getting open while they sitting back there having deep threats and stuff. So, yeah,
he wanted a Joe Montana or some shit.
No, I don't mind an athletic quarterback because
throw the ball.
because at the end of the day, Pat Mahomes can run the ball when he needs to run the ball. You saw him in the Super Bowl with a hurt ankle, run the ball. But at the end of the day, he gonna pass the ball when he needs to pass the ball. Here's what I'm saying: if Jalen Hurts has proved it to me again, if I put Lamar Jackson over there with AJ Brown and I put Jalen Hurts over there with the Baltimore Ravens, I don't think Lamar Jackson does what Jalen Hurts did this year. I don't think he can pass the ball as well. You know what I'm saying? That's my point. You know what I'm saying? Now you put Pat Mahomes on any of them teams, Pat Mahomes would have made the Ravens work. You know what I'm saying? He's just different. You know what I'm saying?
Hey, do you got a button that you can say, bruh?
No.
Like, bro, what?
You said you get your opinion, or I get my opinion just now. That's how it works. Debates. But anyway, that's my opinion. I think Jalen Hurts throws the ball better than Lamar Jackson. Period.
But okay, so with a lot of I wasn't really in depth with watching Lamar play the past year or whatnot, or because I don't know when you were watching him. So we're and this isn't me saying this in a sly way, but cause I'm trying to envision you watching it in what games and stuff you watched and the passes he threw that you used to gather your information, saying that you don't think he can throw the ball as well. But logical thinker here. What were those passes normally like? Those incompletions, were they a lot of overthrown passes? Was he very inaccurate? Was it drop passes from his receivers? Was it what was it that you?
I don't think Lamar Jackson's the most accurate quarterback for one. Two, when it comes down to like you said earlier, right? If I have an athletic quarterback and they shut the run game down, mind you, we already said earlier. I think y'all agreed he hasn't really had a consistent running back with him, right? So it's him running the ball. They shut that down. They load the box with 8-9 people deep, and they put one-on-one of these two receivers on the outside. He's not throwing the ball like that to the receivers. Mark Andrews has been his security blanket for the past 3 years. I'm not hating on that. I'm just saying that, again, if I'm a coach or if I'm a GM, mind you, again, they didn't even want him. The GM, right before the last move he did before he retired was drafting Lamar Jackson. You stuck with him now for 4 or 5 years. Here. You know what I'm saying? I'm drafting him. I'm retiring after this. I don't think that Lamar Jackson, again, no hate to Lamar, come to the show, but I don't think that Lamar Jackson can pass the ball like that in the league that he's in right now. I think he can probably get better at. But there's a lot of other courses I'm taking before Lamar Jackson. You know what I'm saying? I'm definitely taking Lamar Jackson over Dak Prescott. I'll take anybody over Dak Prescott. That's my guy, my quarterback for my team. But I think Lamar Jackson, I think he's underneath as far as passing the ball. He's under Jalen Hurts. He's definitely under Patrick Mahomes. He's definitely under Josh Allen. There's other quarterbacks to me who just get that job done better. You know what I'm saying?
Are you judging that based off of
even with Josh Allen in the playoffs, right? Josh Allen was amazing this year. When it came down to the playoffs, like I'm saying, home field advantage, all that snow, which is another conversation in itself, he couldn't throw the ball how he needed to throw the ball. They shut that run game down, he wasn't able to get it done. That's what I'm saying. When it comes down to it, you got to be able to throw the ball. Period.
I feel like you give Lamar the weapons, he can definitely sit back there and get it done.
That's what I was waiting till he finished. But like you just said that if Lamar was with the Eagles and Jalen Hurts was with the Ravens, that Lamar would not be as successful as Jalen Hurts. Are you serious? They were running the ball. They punch you in the mouth, then they throw it to A.J. Brown. They punch you in the mouth, and then Devontae Smith gets open. Then they hit you with a switcheroo, play action, play, shotgun, whatever, and they get in their weapons the ball. They have 3-4 weapons. Quez Watkins. They have Dallas Goedert. They have Miles Sanders, Boston Scott, Kenneth Gainwell, A.J. Brown, and more.
I'm aware who they have.
Who besides Mark Andrews, right, and J.K. Dobbins towards the end of the season, who did Lamar Jackson have?
Okay.
And also a question.
Go ahead.
How was Baltimore's offensive line?
They're not. They're not.
Well, how
Eagles.
can an offensive line block for a quarterback if he running around all the time?
Well,
Why
if you got an offensive line that can block when you back there in the pocket pass.
Build around your team, you got. Build around the guy. You got.
Time out. I'm gonna interject.
There's different from a play call that's for a run.
Okay.
There's difference, but I'm talking about when he's scrambling for his life to make something happen.
There's a difference between run blocking
and
pass
line
blocking.
for me, want receivers. Because if he ain't got no offensive line, you can get to nobody out there anyway. It don't matter if fucking.
Well, I feel like
Adams out there.
I feel like the Eagles had a better O line and better receivers for him to get it to. But what I'm getting at with the offensive line is like there's a difference between run blocking and pass blocking.
For sure.
Now, building around his game that they have, it's like, okay, we know he can run the ball. When he sits back here and drops back, this O-line probably isn't going to block for him as well as some of these other teams' offensive lines will. So, yes, you're going to be forced to have to scramble out the pocket, try to make a throw. You can't throw. You know you can make it work with your feet. You're going to end up running. But let's just say in a perfect world, me and you say this all the time, in a perfect world, let's just give Jalen Hurts one series with the Eagles. With the offensive line he had with Jason Kelsey and I think his name was, I don't even know, the tackle or whatever. Lane Johnson, that's his name. Mm-hmm. So they had a decent offensive line for sure.
Great offensive line.
Okay, there we go. Great offensive line. Had great receivers and whatnot. I feel like if you give them each a series with that offense, let them drop back in the pocket, and you can let them scramble against the defense they playing, how do you think it would end up looking? If you give them the same equal weapons, they're two individual quarterbacks, but you have to take into perspective the resources they have. You know what I'm saying? Like you can't compare you can't see two college recruits coming out of high school and one dude coming from the trenches with no type of trainer, no type of weightlifting program, nothing like that, and then another kid who grew up very not wealthy but very fortunate, got the top tier trainers, got this, got that. You know what I'm saying? It's like, damn, they both play the same position. They both kind of talented, but they both had different resources. So this one is going to look a lot better than the one down here who doesn't have as much resource as he does.
So when your brother was here, I should have asked him this question. He said to himself, all these other teams wanted him to play different positions. He said he wanted to be a quarterback. Do you think that was to throw the ball or to run?
That was to play quarterback because nowadays quarterback is to do both.
All right, but
he want to play quarterback on his play style.
And it was mainly because of his size.
You got to ask him what his mindset is before you assume. But I mean, you might know. But I'm saying, like, if most people, Tim Tebow, you know what I'm saying? He went to play quarterback to throw the ball. He didn't give a damn about running it. He went to throw the ball. Vince Young, same thing. RG3, same thing. Johnny Manziel, all these people who got recruited to play free safety. Frank Harris at UTSA, same thing. I want to throw the ball, right? You have to learn how to throw the ball. Why do you think Jalen Hurts went over there to Oklahoma with Riley and learn how to throw the ball? I want to be successful in the league I'm trying to go to. I got to throw the ball. I can't just run all the time. I got to throw the ball. They put me on the bench behind a guy who could throw the ball in Tua. I got to learn how to throw the ball. You know what I'm saying? Yes, it's great to be an athlete. Perfect example. Y'all said Eagles has all these weapons. Put Dak Prescott over there. Does Dak Prescott win?
No.
Exactly. That's my point.
No, because he's not Lamar Jackson.
No. Wait. So wait, hold on.
Hold on. Who
so,
sound like Brady Man? Hold on.
Lamar Jackson better than Dak Prescott?
Yes.
That's cool.
You just said you would take Lamar over Dak.
I would. But at the end of the day, who throws the ball better?
Lamar Jackson.
You're lying, bro. So Lamar Jackson throws the ball, not overall. He throws the ball better than Dak Prescott?
Yes.
No, he doesn't. It's okay, though. I mean, it's all good. I mean, listen.
Like you said, you asked me as my opinion.
I feel you. You know what I'm saying? I feel you. I'm just, you know what I'm saying, here to everybody. But at the end of the day, that's what I'm saying. Like, if you can't throw the ball when it counts, it don't matter what weapons you have around you, it ain't going to work out. Like, again, when Pat Mahomes won his first Super Bowl, I'm sorry, my fault. When Pat Mahomes lost to Tom Brady, they said the Chiefs had the worst offensive line in the league. They were last ranked, 32. Still made it to the Super Bowl with that line. My point is, if you can get back there, Hut, 1, 2, 3, read and make it happen. 1, 2, 3, make it happen. Scramble, you need to. I think that's a great formula. Most quarterbacks will tell you, from what I've been hearing them say, I want to throw the ball. I use my athleticism when I know I can use it. Kyler Murray said it himself. I know I can scramble all day. For me to be great as a great quarterback and be looked as one of the greatest quarterbacks to ever play this game, I got to throw the ball. Tom Brady, Aaron Rodgers, Drew Brees, Joe Montana, Dan Marino, Steve Young, all them players. Steve Young came in the league as a scrambler. If y'all didn't know that, go check it. He was a scrambling quarterback, getting busy. Said, let me hut, stay back here and know how to pass this ball. Go through my progressions. That's the art of playing quarterback. Not just going saying hut because I'm faster than everybody running around. Michael Vick said the same thing. Yeah, it was great. I can go back here and run all day. When I got to Philly, I learned how to be a quarterback. That's how I learned how to really hut and read through my progressions and throw the ball. That's what it is. You know what I'm saying? It's difference. Like, if you can't throw that ball when it counts, it ain't gonna matter how athletic you are. Period. And again, I keep saying this point. Lamar Jackson is a great talent, great gifted player. But there's a reason why these top free agent wide receivers refuse to go there. And they all get mentioned. AB was a free agent. Baltimore, no. I'm going to Tampa Bay, take less money. Odell Beckham, no. I'm going to go visit the other teams. Like, there's a reason why these players refuse to go play there with him.
Because it was the offensive coordinator. But continue.
All right, well, whatever it is. I mean, so let me ask you a question, right? So if I'm going to, I don't know, a team and I have this good quarterback who can throw the ball, in your mind as a receiver, and I know they throw the ball, right? I have a quarterback who can throw the ball. Let's say, I don't know, the Chiefs get the sorriest OC right now. Let's say Nagy's horrible next year. Sorry, OC, right? But they got Pat Mahomes who throw the ball, and you're a receiver, and they want you to come there. Do you think about going to the Chiefs? Why?
Because they throw the ball.
So the OC don't even matter what you just said then.
Because it's Pat Mahomes.
You're not
If Pat Mahomes can do it,
you're not staying consistent in your argument.
No, I am consistent in my argument. If Pat Mahomes didn't have offensive line, still took him to the Super Bowl, we can clearly see that's Pat Mahomes. So that's a one-off. We can't compare Tom Brady to Joe Namath. No, we can't. You can't compare Pat Mahomes to Lamar Jackson because Pat Mahomes is the best quarterback in the NFL right now. Lamar Jackson, that is not his playing style.
Okay.
They're going towards the playing style, but if the OC does not fit the mold of the playing style of Lamar Jackson, it's not going to work.
What's his playing style?
He rushes, but he wants to throw the ball. He even tweeted, I want to throw the ball. That's why I'm playing quarterback. Like, if the play call is not being called right, because you don't have nobody to throw it to, why would you want to throw the ball?
Well, he said he wants to play quarterback to throw the ball. You just put my point. I was going to air horn for that. You just said that. I definitely just said that.
What?
I just said quarterbacks want to throw the ball. You said he plays quarterback because he wants to throw the ball.
Yes, but you're
So why do you not think he's throwing the ball? Why do you think the team has him run majority of the time?
Well, so they always say all the time, success in the NFL, when you have a quarterback, you got to base the team around him. Right or wrong?
Answer his question, though.
I'm about to answer it. Right or wrong?
I'd say yeah.
Okay, cool. So I have a quarterback who's predominantly a runner. I'm going to make a team around his skill set.
With no receivers.
That's my point. Like, dog.
With no receivers.
Because I feel like if I'm the OC, I'm like, all right, yeah, we got Lamar in here. We can see he can run the ball, obviously, and we know that he can throw that hoe. Like, let me try to get him some targets because whenever he had, I forget who else he had Andrews at tight end. He had Hollywood Brown was there. Yep. I think he might have had one more threat that was there with him. Sammy Watkins was there. So he was able, he could sling the ball if he needs to, but it's like, that's like having a running back, like a star running back on your squad, and your offensive line can't run block to save their life. And it's like, okay, now we got to make you into a scat back. We got to get you out in the field. That way you can get an open field with one of these DBs because you can't run through these tackles. Now you're looking at that running back to where it's like, oh, he can't run between the tackles because he's only an elusive back. He's only going out to the flat. And that can go back to the argument of like, oh, we're building around his play style. It's like, yeah, his play style seems to be being an elusive back, or his play style seems to be being just a running quarterback, but look at the circumstances. It's like, bro, if we want to have you sit back here in the pocket, who are we going to have him throwing to where he can consistently get the ball to them? And we know that the receiver going to do their part, and he can do, like, it's going to be equal portions to it, besides Mark Andrews. I think that was his name.
He looking up some shit.
I just want to see something real quick.
Bear with him because he's trying to prove a point.
It's just a logic. It's just a logic in me,
And
bro.
he running
Like,
in circles.
I ain't running in circles.
Quarterback, he wants to throw the ball, but you're trying to make an assumption that
How you
what
portray
he
my
wanna
voice
do.
is crazy because that ain't how I sound. One, you know what I'm saying. I'm saying just want to put that, no, bring that known. Well, my point is, when you saying about the running back, I was just saying like, that's not always true. A great point though, but it's not always true because Saquon Barkley had one of the best seasons running back, and he had a horrible line, and he didn't go to the outside. He ran between the tackles. You know what I'm saying? What I'm saying like is, I don't think it's fair to compare running back and quarterback. Two different situations. Like running back, he went and got it done. He didn't go to the outside. He just went up the tackles and got it done with a horrible line. Again, I'm not hating on Lamar Jackson, but I'm saying this though: amazing skill set as a runner. What great targets did Michael Vick have?
Yeah, Algie Crumpley, tight end.
Tight end,
Crumpler.
same old so far.
He had
So far, same old.
Brian Finneran, receiver.
Okay,
Yep. He had Roddy White, receiver.
Michael Vick had Roddy White.
Yes.
Okay, go ahead.
He had Roddy White for one season.
Okay, so go ahead.
Tony wasn't there, was he?
No, he came after.
Okay.
No, yeah. No Tony. He also had.
But the Falcons were winning games still, right?
Yeah.
Okay, what was the formula? Because Michael Vick is still all-time leading rusher quarterback in the NFL history. You know what I'm saying?
That wasn't his only
No, I'm
team,
asking
though.
you. I'm asking, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, he still is, though. You know what I'm saying? Like, most of them yards came in Atlanta. You know what I'm saying? Like, he went to jail for 2 years, came out, and he started throwing the ball in Philly. Most of them running yards came in Atlanta. They built the team around Michael Vick's skill set, which is running the ball. You know what I'm saying? Yes, he's a quarterback, and he can throw the ball. You can throw the ball every day. I see you right there at school, too. You can throw the ball. You a quarterback? No. A quarterback can throw the ball. Yeah. But, like, can you get the ball where it needs to be? Michael Vick, you said in numerous times, Michael Vick has named, like, 3, 4, 5 other quarterbacks who throw the ball better than him, which proves my point he wasn't a great passer. One.
He said he'd always modeled that after Peyton Manning because that's what he wanted to do. But he just didn't have the skill set to learn it. Like
He damn sure didn't.
But he admitted that. Like,
But he said he wanted to be like Peyton. Yamaha, Omaha. Hey. And he wanted to get back there and read,
But guess what?
throw.
That wasn't his skill set.
Again. Because it wasn't his skill set, comma. That's why the Falcons said we're going to base this around you. Give you a running back here. Give you a tight end right here across the middle. And when we got a hut, it ain't there, run. You run a fucking 4-2. Comes that quarterback, run. Forrest, run.
It's crazy because Lamar Jackson is going to prove to everybody that he is a premier quarterback and he's going to throw for over 4,000 yards.
4,000?
4,000.
Jalen Hurts went through for 3,000 this year. How you gonna throw for 4?
Because you're comparing another man to another man.
So we're gonna. Here's a better question. Where's he gonna throw these 4,000 yards at?
It could be with Atlanta.
Okay.
It could be with Devontae Adams.
Would it be with Baltimore?
No.
Okay.
That's what I'm saying. He's gone. Like I just don't think someone would sit here and wait this long to sign somebody. But yeah. Next topic, brother. We're gonna talk about this BioLite. That's what we're gonna talk
Please
about.
do.
Because man,
That's cool.
you need to
Please
drink
do.
some BioLite
Please do.
because you tweaking.
Please do.
You
Please do.
tweaking.
Nah, I ain't
It's
tweaking.
IV in the bottle. 550% electrolytes more than other competitors. It has overindulgence. If you're full, go ahead and drink one of these. You're cramping, drink one of these. You're tired, drink one of these. Dehydrated, drink one of these.
And go ahead and tell them how they need to drink it.
Ooh-wee. You need to have this frozen, cold, ice cold, right? Make sure that you drink this cold. It's better. So yeah, so BioLite, get your BioLite. And this is a new flavor of the month. It is fruit punch that just came out on Valentine's Day.
Exclusive.
I want to shout out Megan. Shout out Megan for getting us these BioLites. Shout out to the company BioLite themselves. This is the best one thus far. This is my favorite one right here, the punch. So for sure. Shout out to BioLite.
Shout out to them, man.
This was so. With that being said, we'll go ahead and do, or Devin can do closing prayer.
Yes, but we want to give shout outs real
Oh,
quick.
shout out.
Shout out to God. Without him, we are nothing. Shout out to my fiance, Taylor Renee. Shout out to my mom. Shout out to my uncle, all my brothers, everyone that's supporting us, our crowd favorite family. Stay tuned for the merch. The merch is coming to a place near you.
Very soon.
Yes, sir. And,
Okay, yeah, I'll give a few shout outs. Shout out, God first and foremost. Without him, we wouldn't be here, you know what I'm saying? And we wouldn't be doing what we're doing. Want to give a special shout out to my mama, my sister, my brother, all my siblings, you know what I'm saying? My homeboys, back in San Antonio. All my homeboys from, UTSA and whatnot, my LBs, all my brothers, man, you know what I'm saying? Like, just want to give a shout out to them. But I want to give a special shout out, you know what I'm saying? I produced this beat for the intro and whatnot, but it wasn't, this can't go unwarranted, you know what I'm saying? It was with my homeboys' help, CJ. His tag is It's Slick. Like, It's Slick, you know what I'm saying? And I want to be able to play a little beat for y'all, you know what I'm saying? Give a little promo to my dog. He cold with it, man. I'm letting you know. His tag is crazy, too. So shout out to my boy Slick, man.
So, for me, shout out to God first and foremost for the gift of gab. My goal is to be a professional podcaster, making lucrative money for me and my family, and I think I'm pretty good at it. And so, just shout out to God for the gift that He's given me. I always say creativity is one of my greatest gifts. I'm a wordsmith. I could definitely make words flow, and so to be able to do this, you know what I'm saying, on a Tuesday evening is an amazing thing. With you guys, y'all bring the best out of me. You know what I'm saying, that fire, that passion about, you know what I'm saying, quarterbacks throwing the ball. I appreciate y'all, real talk. But shout out to my daughter Lyric, the music of my life. Shout out to everybody who supports myself, Devin, and Trey. I think that's very important. I think support has to be there. Shout out to all the fans listening and watching Crowd Favorite. We are available on all streaming platforms, Apple Music or Apple Podcast app, Spotify, anywhere you can hear podcasts, we're there. Even Audible books as well. So check us out there or watch us on YouTube. But also just everybody who supports us, man. Like I said, everybody, without y'all, listening and watching, there's no need for us to even do this. You know what I'm saying? If we were watching every episode and seeing we got 3 views, just us watching it, ain't no point of us doing it. You know what I'm saying? So I think I want to just shout out everybody who supports us, for sure. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to just y'all. You know what I'm saying? Definitely, like I said, y'all bring the best out of me. Couldn't do it without y'all. There's no need for Crowd Favorite without, y'all in the room as well. So definitely appreciate y'all for sure.
Already. You got one of CJ's beats?
Y'all got the beat right here, man.
Yes,
go ahead.
Let's hear it, man.
Play it right quick.
About.
Rise up, nation.
You're not slick.
I thought you was laughing. Look.
That's why he's laughing too, I ain't gonna lie.
Hey, about to get paid.
Yeah.
Yeah, I gotta get on the beat.
Turn me up. Devil on the track. Come on.
I'm finna start. Yeah. Here I come. Here I go. Coming down. Bingo. 812, 210, San Antonio, I go. Box of cereal, Cheerios. What are those?
Yeah.
Oh yeah. All right, you're for buy light. Got by yo, keep it light. Got that drink, yeah, it's right. Coming to the green, yeah, my boys is tight. Coming to the ring, but at night, like Superman, no kryptonite, like a soldier, nah, like a knight, like I'm riding a bike, out of sight, out of mind, yeah, it's lying, yeah, my wife, yeah, she fine, she give me time,
Yeah, you killed it. Yeah. Round of applause. Go ahead, drop a bomb for him. Yeah.
That's for sure.
Yes, again, shout out my boy Slick, man. You know what I'm saying? Crazy with the beats, putting out a couple a day.
That's dope.
On some Kanye stuff.
Yeah, that's a what they do? 5 beats a day for 3 summers.
3 summers.
Yeah, that's great.
5 beats a day for 3 summers.
That's a different word, like 3 summers.
That's a lot of beats.
It is a lot of beats for sure. Because 5 times 3 is 15. That's 150 a month. That's crazy. That's a lot.
I mean, how many days in the summer though?
450 in the summer. Damn. You can't go through that catalog. Show beats. I got 450 beats to show you right quick. That's crazy. But anyway, we lay y'all to death. I'm gonna go ahead and play the feature track now from Crowd Favorite. Oh, my bad. My fault.
So disrespectful.
Oh yeah.
Damn, disrespectful, bro. Stop saying that. That's crazy. Go ahead.
Dear God, we thank you, Lord, for bringing us here today, Lord. We thank you, Lord, for a great episode 7, Lord. We pray for many, many more, Lord. We pray for safe travel as we travel back home. Please cover our family and our friends, Lord, and let us keep working in our craft to become better individuals and better teammates, Lord. We thank you, Lord. We love you, Lord. In Jesus' name, amen.
Amen.
And by the way, if it sounded weird, I said time. give my wife time. I know people probably said, what? I said time. Time.
TikTok.
It's that OT for real. Now he's an OT, y'all. Anyway,
Overtime.
go ahead and get into this.
Play my theme music.
I got you, Dion. Here you go.
Oh, Devin.
Devon.
Hey, I don't wanna hit a cap, you can save it. With my guys and we got it up the pavement. Listen up, it's what everybody's saying. Round of applause, give it up for the crowd favorite. Hey, round of applause, give it up for the crowd favorite.
We love y'all. Till next time. See y'all. PFS. Peace.
I know they weak by the look in their faces. All of these rings got me feeling like Brady. Say what I feel, I don't care how you take it. Round of applause, give it up for the crowd favorite. Hey, round of applause, give it up for the crowd favorite. Yeah.
Shout out Ball Light.